The Isaiah Factor Uncensored starts right now.
And welcome to The Factor Uncensored. Racist as Muppets. When did you think you would ever hear that verbal combination? Those are words a family is using to describe their experience at Sesame Place in Pennsylvania. Now, everyone has now seen this video of a parade at the amusement park. Someone in a costume playing Rosita can be seen walking right past two little black girls trying to get their attention. Rosita doesn't acknowledge them and in our minds says to those kids, next, whatever. The two apologies Sesame Place released haven't been enough for the public. The family now says they want a more authentic apology and for that worker to be fired. But is Rosita worth getting fired over? Tonight's panel weighs in saying, compare this to Emmett Till. Oops.
You know, it breaks my heart every time I see that video. It's like, poor kids. Just say, Rosita, say something to them. So, Mitch, obviously we're laughing at this, but it was horrible. It's heartbreaking when you see that video.
Well, it is heartbreaking. And, you know, one of the first things that came to my mind, I was talking to my mom and I said, you know, you prepped me pretty early in life to deal with stuff like this. And she did. From a very early age. So when things like that happened, she started equipping me with tools to deal with it and to move on from it and to just about expect it. What's really egregious is that kids today are still dealing with it. I'm 50 years old. I'll be 51 soon. And to think that stuff like this would stop happening is almost foolish on our part because it's never stopped. It's never slowed down. It's just another affirmation that we've got to get our kids girded up to deal with crap like this.
And Lewis, Mitch speaks reality, but kids shouldn't have to be prepared for something like this. They should be able to live as kids and enjoy the events and festivities and parades like every other kid, but that's not the reality.
Well, first of all, I think a 9-second clip, I would have loved to have seen more of that clip. I don't see the big deal, to be honest with you, all right? We're talking about a sketchy Muppet who did not high-five a child, all right? We've got some weak-ass kids, and I think the biggest irony is that they were raised by parents who more than likely were latchkey kids, maybe ate a sandwich for dinner, drank water out of the water hose, and here we are getting butthurt because she didn't get a high-five. I heard the attorney, and it was almost like a comedy skit to hear this attorney's press conference. And he quoted the Sesame Street song, and I had to write it down. He said, you know, a place that says, come and play, everything's A-OK. Finally, they get there and everything's not A-OK. We're making too much of a bit big of a deal out of this. We've got real issues of racism, don't get me wrong, but this dilutes the significance of racism, and that's what bothers me. You know, it kind of muddies.
So, Lewis, for those who say, if you allow this to pass, what's next?
If we allow a Muppet to walk by, I know, right? Right? I know.
Leave it to Lewis.
Now, Lewis, you got me feeling silly.
Leave it to Lewis to have all of us feeling silly here. Yes. Oh, Lewis.
That's all downhill for me. I think it's a sick thing.
You know what? Let's just forget this interview and just go on.
No, you got to get Emmett Till.
No, go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir.
You know what I mean? You know, Emmett Till got his tongue cut out and had a fan blade from a factory tied around his neck and thrown in water. I get that. You know, we got a guy that just recently got shot at 60 times. You know, and as he was unarmed. Yeah, he was armed shortly before that, but yeah, he got shot. You know, I think 40 bullets hit him. We're talking about two girls. This seems like a money grab. And I'd be lying if I didn't say anything else. You know,
okay. And Lewis, I want to get to that part where I agree with you, where I saw a statement where they said that the girl, one of the little girls had to be, or is now isolating after this incident. And I said, well, that's a bit much. That's a bit much. And it seems like a lawsuit is the next step here. So Mitch, when you saw the statement that the young girl is now isolating after this incident, and grant you, I thought it was wrong. I just felt bad for the kids. I felt bad for the kids. And we've had individuals who have wore those costumes before, and you get almost tunnel vision. There's a possibility they may not have seen them. But when you read that statement, Mish, that the child is now isolating.
Right. Thank you for asking that question, because that's what drew me back to my mom in my early lessons about, you know, geez, do we really need to be protected from it, or should we just be ready for it instead, which to me is a better way to go. You're never going to shelter from stuff like this. You just are not. It's going to happen again and again and again as long as that young lady lives. And so while she is a kid and probably doesn't want to have to deal with social media, which is something neither Lewis nor I grew up with as children, I get it. But at this point, we're talking, let's learn some lessons, let's get some tools for coping, and let's move on. What was more egregious here to me was that ridiculous apology that was issued. Now that thing made no sense to me. Either you're going to apologize or you're going to make excuses. And both were folded into the same statement. Don't blame it on line of sight. Oh, the child was too low. No, the baby wasn't, because we saw you drop your head and look down. No, he wasn't. Or no, she wasn't, excuse me. Don't apologize. Yeah, but these are the reasons why. Either you apologize or you don't. That's what we need to learn to do. Just say, I'm sorry, take the L and move on.
Lewis, when we talk about this, once again, the child is now isolating as a result of this. When you hear that, is that something legal leading up to a lawsuit, as you said, a money grab in this case?
This is definitely a money grab, and the hammer's about to swing. The guy said that the attorney, and again, I wrote some of this down, he said that we have suffered at the hands of characters at these theme parks. We're talking about Rosita. And it hell on fire if it were Oscar the Grouch, you know? I mean, we've got to put these things in perspective, right? This is a Muppet that did not high-five two girls in a 9-second clip. Yeah, I mean, let's put this in perspective. You know, I don't think that voting rights are at risk here. You know what I mean? I don't think that opportunities for Black and brown men are at risk here. And then we're talking about a sketchy Muppet named Rosita. You know, so we're talking about a Hispanic character from the Muppets, you know? So yes, I think there's a huge money grab, and he invoked he invoked, I think, the name of Beyonce. The attorney invoked a few names that kind of tried to align itself with the Black Lives Matter movement. And again, it dilutes the reality that is racial discrimination. It exists, racial discrimination exists, but things like this tend to pull at the heartstrings of the emotionalites. And we live in such an emotional society that nothing is geared on logic. Nothing is based on logic. You know, if anything, this was an opportunity for parents to parent. You know, this was an opportunity for parents to say, look, you know, hey, shake it off. Walk it, go get some water and walk it off, right? You're gonna be okay. This is not the end of the world. We'll go somewhere else next year, you know, to hell with Rosita. You know, but still we got attorneys now.
Go to SeaWorld, just hang out with the whales and just go to SeaWorld, you know.
Those
hang
black
out
and
with
white
the fish.
Those you get confused.
You know, just hang out with the fish and things. Let Nemo and them make your day.
Yeah, we went from the Klan to the Muppets, man. My God.
Thank you guys for joining us here. Lewis ruined my segment, man.